My name is Michelle. My father, a business executive, chose my husband for me. He's a hard worker, kind yet strict, and my father thought he'd make a great future president of the company. So, our marriage was decided without much say. Now, my father has become the chairman, and my husband the president. I support him as the vice president, and thanks to this, our company is running smoothly. This marriage turned out to be a success for the company as well. We've been married for 20 years. But my husband has a hidden side. His affairs. He's great at his job, but I know he secretly sees other women. One day, my husband said to me, "That new girl, she's my mistress and she's pregnant. When the baby's born, you're in charge of childcare." When I looked at that new girl, there she was, stunningly beautiful, enough to make even women stare. I thought, oh, yeah. She really is cute. Just the type my husband likes. If the baby is born, I can't just ignore it, right? You do realize, saying that is like announcing you've been unfaithful, right? Are you okay with that? Of course I am. After all, I'm the president. A president is expected to have one or two mistresses. What an excuse that is. My husband, boasting about having a mistress, clearly doesn't understand his position. Moreover, she's carrying a boy. So what? We have 3 children, don't we? No good. They're all girls. A boy could eventually succeed me as president, but with girls, it's a no-go. Even a girl could marry a competent employee, like I did. No, that won't do. It has to be someone carrying my genes, he said, flaring his nostrils. This reminded me of when I was pregnant. My husband, fussing over whether it would be a boy or a girl, showed great disappointment when he learned it was a girl. He sighed every time he changed her diaper. A girl, huh? Why couldn't she have been a boy? There's nothing you can do about it. If you want a boy that much, hope for the next one. Right, the next time. Yeah, let's go for it. And so, the next child was also a girl. We tried for a third, but again, a girl. For me, whether it was a girl or a boy, either was fine. Just being born healthy was enough to make me happy. But it seems my husband felt differently. All girls. I wanted a boy. Why can you only have girls? You know that's not something I can control. It's not impossible. You just lack the determination. If determination could change genetics, no one would have any problems. But my husband kept insisting it was all my fault. You can't even produce a boy. You're utterly useless. A disgrace to business executives. A girl can become president if she's competent. No. The world of business is a man's world. A woman president would only be looked down upon. My father-in-law knew this, that's why he had you marry me. It has to be a boy, no matter what. That's so outdated. Say whatever you want. This is the reality. Fine, then let's try for a 4th. I have no more expectations from you. What do you mean by that? Figure it out yourself. After that, every time my husband looked at me, he kept berating me for being useless. What should have been a peaceful home became tense. And our conversations turned to nothing more than necessary communications. My husband, using his busyness as an excuse, stopped coming home, and even at the company, we hardly spoke. I thought about confronting him at the company, but that's why women are no good. Can't you see this is a workplace? I know. If you understand, then why bring domestic issues into the workplace? That's mixing personal and professional life. It's exactly this kind of behavior that proves women are unfit for corporate management. I was left speechless by my husband's retort, boiling with anger, and my love for him gradually faded. All I wanted was for him to take his work seriously. Just don't ruin the company. That's all I hoped for. Therefore, I had no choice but to endure my husband's affairs that began from that point, unable to even voice a complaint. But then, he brazenly revealed he had a mistress, and she was pregnant. I couldn't help but think, this jerk, he really did it, and felt a surge of anger. What am I going to do with him? Yet, my husband was over the moon, believing he had produced a male heir. The fact that he had been unfaithful, that it was an act of infidelity, seemed not to bother him at all. He didn't even feel guilty about betraying his wife. Do you think this is acceptable? I took a mistress to create an heir. Of course, it's acceptable. You think the chairman will approve? The chairman will understand. After all, it's a boy. For a business executive, producing a male child is an essential duty. He'll praise me for being able to do that. Now our company's future is secure. So, you'll be taking care of the heir. Make sure he's raised properly as a successor. You want me to take care of the mistress's child? Yes, of course. She's too young. It would be cruel to make her raise a child at her age. I might even make her the vice president in your place. After all, she's the one who bore the future heir. I thought, what century is this man living in? Hatred swirled inside me, and I was consumed by an unwavering rage. She's pretty, isn't she? Quite different from you. My husband looked at her with a smug smile. Despite my anger, I couldn't take it out on her, a fellow employee. I just stared at her. Then realized something. What? You see, her radiant beauty and allure as a woman. What are you even talking about? What do you mean what? Jealous of her youth? Or her beauty? Don't you dare bully her. If she has a miscarriage, it'll be a disaster. My husband thought I was upset, but when he looked at her, his face softened again. Realizing this could lead to a fight, I decided to say, it's nothing. Then my husband called her over to introduce her to me. Kelly, I've talked to the vice president about your pregnancy. Say hello. Hello. Kelly smiled sweetly, looked me straight in the eye, and said triumphantly. Please divorce him. What? Please divorce him. Hey, Kelly, that's going a bit far. But I'm carrying your baby, right? For our baby's sake, we should be married, right? The vice president's daughters are already grown. It wouldn't be a problem if you divorced. But our baby is still unborn. If his parents aren't together, it might not be good. I can't let that happen. That's true, but if we divorce, it might be problematic. Since the vice president will be responsible for raising the baby. It'll be fine. You can still take care of the child. If you're rich, you can have a nanny, right? Let the child be raised by someone else. And then, I'll be the vice president, right? Let's do that. Well, you do have a point. If the child grows up without both parents and turns out bad, it'll be a problem for a future president. My husband seemed already under the mistress's thumb. I couldn't help but laugh inwardly at the interesting turn of events. Sure, now that your affair is out in the open, I might consider divorce. Really? You'll divorce me? See. I told you, if you talk to the vice president, she'll understand. Indeed, if the baby is really born, a divorce might be better. If you want him as your successor, that's what you should do. Exactly. The heir must be a boy. I'm glad you understand. My husband seemed pleased. If he had a tail, he'd be wagging it with joy. I couldn't sleep at night, worrying about the baby. Kelly said, stroking her belly. Yet, she looked surprisingly well. Sleepless nights can be tough for a pregnant woman. Morning sickness too, right? Oh, yes, but mine seems mild. Indeed. Pregnant women can't drink alcohol, and it gets harder to move around as the belly grows. Take care. Thank you. Experienced mothers have different insights. Right, if you have any questions or worries, feel free to ask me anytime. Thank you, but I'm not worried about anything. Kelly said, walking away. My husband then thanked me. Thanks, Michelle. You really are my best supporter. So about the divorce. I'll file the divorce later. It's too much to handle today, emotionally. And please pack your things and leave. There's hardly any of your stuff here since we've been practically living separately. After I walked away, my husband, unable to hide his glee, didn't realize this was just the beginning of his hell. He started coming to me with concerns about Kelly's health. Thinking I accepted everything. I always responded kindly. She's having bad morning sickness and can't cook. Really? She's too tired to take a shower, but when I offered to take a shower with her and help, she refused. Why do you think that is? You didn't have such issues. It varies from woman to woman. Some can barely move. I see. But I still want to help her to take a shower. That's something you two need to work out. Right. I wonder if she should stop working, considering the birth, but she wants to keep working. For me, I really want her to start preparing for the birth. Let her do as she wishes. You plan to make her vice president after she gives birth, right? Right, after the birth, she'll be the vice president. She says she wants to focus on her work properly now. Yes, once it's born, of course. That's exactly why, for now, it's all about preparing for the birth. Overprotecting her might make childbirth difficult. Really? Yeah, that makes sense. When I think about her, overprotecting her might not be good either. But still, I can't wait. I wish the baby would come soon. Yes, it'd be good if the baby comes soon. He waited eagerly for the birth, bringing up such trivial concerns daily. As 6 months passed, his anxiety grew. Why isn't her belly growing? You had a big belly. I'm worried. Pregnant women vary, you know. Even if they are really pregnant, not everyone shows a big belly. Is that so? But you had a big belly, didn't you? I'm worried whether the baby is growing well with such a flat belly like hers. Has she been to the doctor? Yes, she goes. And? Even when I offer to go with her, she asks me to prioritize work. She's admirable. What about her pregnancy journal? Pregnancy journal? What's that? She may have one. I've never seen it. And if she's going to the doctor, there should be ultrasound photos. Have you seen any? She gets them but throws them away. I've never seen them. Really? That's an unusual pregnant woman, not treasuring the first pictures of her child. According to her, those aren't real pictures. Why treasure photos of a baby in the belly when you can take lots once it's born? I see, that's one way to think about it. So, I've never seen them. So, is it okay for her belly to be that small? Who knows? If she's really pregnant, it'll probably grow eventually. You keep making these concerning remarks. Are you jealous that she's carrying a boy? What? Did I say that? I guess it just slips out, talking about your mistress's pregnancy. Why don't you marry her quickly? It's been a while since our divorce. Oh? Yeah, right. We're thinking about a wedding party now. Why bother with a party now? Just register the marriage. She'll probably feel more at ease and the baby will grow better. Oh, that might be why her belly isn't growing, due to anxiety. Maybe. Though it sounded ridiculous, my ex-husband seemed to think there was some truth to it. The next day. Hey, we've registered our marriage. My ex-husband, who came to see me while I was working, reported with evident joy. Only waiting for the baby to be born. We'll have a grand wedding party. That's nice. Maybe it's because it's a boy. She's become quite demanding. What do you mean? Right after registering, she became very assertive. You registered yesterday, right? Yes, but she says she couldn't speak up before due to anxiety. Probably why her belly didn't grow. I'll endure her tough attitude until the baby is born. It's nothing for the sake of the child. Sure, hope the baby arrives safely. Why would you say that? Miscarriages are unlikely this far along. Sorry, I didn't mean to dampen your spirits. I'm sure there won't be a miscarriage. Then why say such things? Just because it's your mistress's child, don't talk nonsense. I didn't mean that. Just that even if men undergo sex change, they can't have a uterus. So at best, it might be a phantom pregnancy. What are you saying? Are you suggesting she's a man? Oh, you didn't know? I thought you didn't, that's why you're so happy. What are you talking about? Kelly was born male. Kelly, a man? Don't be ridiculous. She's more feminine than any woman. Men who desire to be women often make extra effort, becoming even more feminine. That's ridiculous. Look around, no woman here matches her beauty. Women born as women don't strive that hard. Nonsense. If she was male, we couldn't marry. Actually, you can. If she underwent gender reassignment, she'd be legally female. She wants to become a woman and pursues beauty to that extent. But she has breasts. She might have had an augmentation. Impossible. I've seen everything. That's what I am telling you. But a sex change can't create a uterus. Then how could she be pregnant? That's the question, isn't it? But she had morning sickness. Anyone can pretend to be sick. She said she was pregnant. It's unthinkable for a pregnant woman to throw away ultrasound pictures. And why is her belly flat for this long? It's all too improbable. But you said some women don't show much. There might be women who don't show much during pregnancy, but normally, you'd expect at least some belly, right? Especially if there's a baby. I believed her. Well, if there's love, gender doesn't matter, right? How can it not matter? She can't have children. There are women who are infertile. Just think of it as marrying someone who's infertile. I married her because I wanted children. If you want children that badly, why not consider a uterus transplant? What's that? There was a case in Sweden where someone had a uterus transplant and gave birth. But then, it gets complicated about whose child it is. Why? If it's just a transplant, the baby-making part is with the partner, right? Well, normally, yes. But your mistress seems to be cheating with various men. What nonsense are you spouting? That's impossible. Well, she's quite beautiful. And without a uterus, she can have all the fun she wants, just like someone else I know. Are you implying to me? Oh, you caught on? Birds of a feather flock together. Why can you say such things? I did some research. Research? When you introduced her as your mistress, I remembered a rumor that she used to be a man. So, if that was true, it would be quite interesting, I thought. Why didn't you tell me then? What good would it do? It might just be a rumor. What if I accused her of being male and it turned out wrong? Could you forgive that? I guess not. That's why I didn't say anything. It's shameful for a business executive to make baseless claims. When did you find out? Maybe right after our divorce. I had my suspicions since you boasted about having a child with your mistress, and we divorced because of your infidelity. So, I had a detective agency investigate her. Then why didn't you tell me when you got the results? I'm married now. Well, I was waiting for this moment. Why would I tell you? Why? You wanted to see me suffer? That's a strange question. You love Kelly, right? Whether she's male or female shouldn't matter, right? You talk about your genes, but what's the use of spreading genes of a habitual cheater? I wanted a son. If there's love, that's all that matters. There's no point in being married. That's why I'm not stepping down as vice president. She wasn't pregnant after all. How can you be sure of that? It might all be your speculation. If you think so, that's fine. I guess she'll soon claim a miscarriage. Why? To make her story align. She's been saying she's pregnant with a non-existent child. She'll need to explain why there's no baby, right? Miscarriage is the only way out. That's a lie. This is all a story you made up. You're just upset about my mistress. Then, why not look at this? What's this? Detective agency's findings. It states she was originally male and shows her entering motels with others. Even now, it's unclear if she's cheating. Back then, she definitely had 3 partners. Good thing she couldn't get pregnant. Otherwise, whose child would it be? Unbelievable! My ex-husband was shocked and speechless. I thought this was my revenge, but he posted the investigation details on social media. It caused a stir among employees and Kelly's friends, leading some to cut ties with her. All I could think was, he really messed up. If Kelly stays quiet, it won't become a big issue. She probably still believes she'll be the president's wife and eventually vice president. But since my ex did something stupid, I wanted to add to the drama. I handed over his infidelity investigation results to Kelly and called her to my office. What's this? Your husband Bob's investigation results. Bob's? Kelly was shaking as she read it. Just then, Bob arrived. If you have business with me, come to me. I called Kelly too, it was more convenient here. Why is Kelly here? What's this? What's that? You slandered me, saying I was a man and cheated. But look at you. You're the one cheating more than me. What's this all of a sudden? It's your investigation results. Talking trash about others, yet you're the one cheating all over the place. What kind of nerve do you have? Why mine? Not only did I investigate Kelly, but I also checked up on you. Why would you do that? Why mine? It's only natural. When your own husband is acting suspicious, you think something is up. Did you think I'd just ignore your affairs and not investigate? No way. If I'm going to act, I do it thoroughly and without fault. But why show it to Kelly? Since you saw Kelly's results, it's only fair Kelly sees yours. One-sidedness isn't fair. But, I cheated, sure, but you cheated too, so it's the same, right? How is it the same? I only cheated with men. I only cheated with women. Lies. Your report has photos of you entering motels with men. Both men and women. You're indiscriminate. Anything goes for you. In terms of cheating, isn't it the same whether it's with men or women? Besides, I could accept you, originally being a man, because of my preferences. You should be thankful for my open-mindedness. How could I ever be thankful for that? I'm filing for divorce. I can't stay with someone like you. I don't want to be with a liar like you either. I'll be claiming alimony. Alimony? I'll sue you for defamation. Defamation? You posted slander about me on social media. That's defamation. Serve some jail time and maybe you'll learn a lesson. Jail, you say? Shut up. Don't you say a word. To my surprise, Kelly did sue my ex-husband. She filed for alimony, but due to her own infidelity, she wasn't awarded any. However, she agreed to drop the charges if my ex paid her $600,000 as alimony and a settlement. My ex thought it was a high price, but considering his status, it was deemed fair. Reluctantly, he paid the $600,000. My exhausted ex-husband faced social repercussions at work. You were almost reported. Yeah, but that $600,000 hurt. Anyway, you're no longer the president because of the police matter. What do you mean? You're fired as the president. Goodbye. No way. Unemployed and kicked out of the company, he faced a dire situation. Serves him right. He owed me child support for our daughters, plus the money to Kelly. Struggling to make ends meet, he frantically looked for a job. Realizing he couldn't sustain his lifestyle, my ex-husband busily sought employment, relying on his connections. However, his past troubles with the police had spread everywhere, and he found no one willing to hire him. Despite his efforts to explain and seek understanding, the rumors about him seemed to have more influence than his words. Emboldened, he tried to start his own business, but as someone who had only ever been a company president within a pre-established framework, he couldn't accomplish such a major undertaking. Instead, he only accumulated a significant amount of debt. Consequently, he ended up in a dilapidated apartment with drafts coming through the gaps, a stark contrast to his previous lifestyle. Unable to bear it, he came to me for help. Please help me. I'll take any corner of your kitchen. Leftovers are fine. What? Live with me? We were married, so it's okay, right? We're strangers now. What would the neighbors think? Besides, I'm now the president of that company. It's unthinkable for a president to live with an ex-husband. Don't say that. You brought this on yourself. I refused him. Despite the chaos at the company due to the president's arrest, we managed to stabilize it after I took over as president. My father, the chairman, hinted at remarriage, but I have no intention of marrying again. I've finally found peace.